Yappers Unite, it's JahJahHenny, and today I'm checking out the official music video for NEURON by J-Hope featuring, and I'm so sorry if I say these names incorrectly, let me know, but Geico? I'm not sure, and yoonmirae. Again, I'm probably saying them wrong, so let me know how to pronounce those two folks' names. Apologies for the mispronunciation. I haven't checked out a lot of J-Hope's music, so I'm excited to check him out. I definitely need to listen to more J-Hope, more Sugar, and more Jin, because I feel like my reactions have predominantly been like Jimin, V, and RM, like for the most part, but I definitely need more, and I need more Jungkook too. That's another thing that's wow, is that I haven't listened to many of Jungkook's solo songs. I really do want to listen to his full album for his album Golden, so I'm definitely going to check that out for sure and check out his music videos, because I don't know if I've ever seen any of his videos besides Standing Next to You, which I believe was like one of the first, if not the first, BTS adjacent reaction I did on this channel. So definitely got to do more Jungkook. Sorry about that, Jungkook. I got you. I got your stuff on my list. But I've had this song on my list for a really long time too, so I wanted to finally check it out. So without further ado, let's watch this video.
I'll tell you again, we'll never ever give up forever. I say it again, we'll always be a light to move on.
Yo, this beat is everything. This beat is everything to me. I love this.
Running respond to my life. New world 다시 나를 위한 time. 내 신경을 곤두 세워 그때 나처럼 dive. 내 몸은 자유형 still freestyle. 성 넘는 나의 영 a whole new type. So 뿌리 깊은 나무 샘이 깊은 무 그 네가 바로 날 깨웠던 새뿌리야. We'll never ever give up forever. I say it again, we'll always be a light to move on. I'll tell you again, we'll never ever give up forever. I say it again, we'll always be a light to move on.
Yo, this is such a bop. This is such a pop. This song like makes me feel really, really good. I'm really enjoying this so far.
살아본 인생이 얼굴 위에 드러날 때 거울에 실눈을 떠 이 정도면 not bad. 강직함을 위해 승모의 힘을 뺐어. 주어진 수십 가지 motivation. 세포와 세포 사이에 이어진 연결고리에서 사는 이유와 의미를 촘촘히 조립해서 세상의 번개 delivery. 공의 비거리가 잘 던지길 던지는 그들이 선택할 목. 이제는 폭탄을 품지 않아. 크루에게 공을 돌리고 주말엔 남은 고아들과 캐시볼. 변방에서 메트로 어린 시절 피아노 옆에 메트로놈. 그걸 맞추는 게 일이 됐고 쌓이는 갯돈은 여전히 살 얼음. 미래의 불안감은 유령처럼 무대 밑바닥에서 white gold. 소리 질러 외치고 돌아와 집밥을 슴슴한 간으로 휴식해. Make some white noise.
We'll never ever give up forever. I say it again, we'll always be a light to move on. I'll tell you again, we'll never ever give up forever. I say it again, we'll always be a light to move on.
Yeah. J-Hope, check up yoonmirae, we on a new level. 사랑과 평화 움직이는 내 맘속 two letters. Throw your peace in the sky. 손가락 두 개로 but no okidoki bullshit. 요 검은 날엔 단 baby T. 뜨거운 불꽃 피는 미소 지내기 시. J-Hope that gave T the beach ride. Look at your man like how she get the best buy. Cause you can learn to flow with passion, it can't be taught. I got a passion for the game, hustle never stop. Music and family, that's what it's all about. They keep it going like day in and day out. Music and family, that's what it's all about. You keep me motivated on the days I hate it. Reminded that God created something special together. I made it.
We'll never ever give up forever. Say it again. We'll always be a light to move us. I tell you again. We'll never ever give up forever. Say it again. We'll always be a light to move us.
J-Hope, baby, see.
NEURON attention. NEURON 반응해 모든 내 세포. Get up, no, get up, run. NEURON attention. NEURON 시작해 모든 내 세포. Better, no, better, run.
This is absolutely a video I'm gonna have to watch a couple times once again, because I've been mostly like reading the lyrics, so I definitely want to go back and like actually really watch, like focus on the video.
We'll never ever give up forever. I say it again.
I think it says, even without knowing each other's stories, we create
We'll always be a light
memories of love that bridge the gap.
to move us.
Moments of love. Moments of love. You guys, what the heck? Again. That song was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed that song. This song reminds me of early 2000s hip hop. That's what it made me think of. It made me think of early 2000s hip hop. Just the vibe, like the beat, you know, and the way that they were rapping, like their flow over this beat, reminded me a lot of hip hop music I listened to in the early 2000s when I was a teenager. Bro, what the hell? This song is really funny because it says in the name of the song, it says official motion picture, and all I could think of when I was listening to the song was like, this sounds like a song that would have been like in a movie in the early 2000s. Like, I feel like I could have heard this song like in the movie Step Up. Like it like makes me think of like those movies I used to watch back then, and a lot of them maybe were a little bit more grimy, and they feature a lot of like underground, like hip-hop artists, more underground hip-hop artists. And so that's what it like just made me think of. It made me think of that era, and I really, really enjoyed it a lot. I think J-Hope sounded amazing. I don't know who these other two people are. Like I said, this was my first time listening to them, but I think they sounded fantastic as well. I was not expecting, I think that was, I should have practiced saying these names before I recorded this video. I didn't even practice. That was not a smart idea. But yoonmirae, I'm butchering that, I'm sure, but I want to say that was the woman at the end who was rapping. Correct me if I'm wrong. Either way, fantastic verse. Really, really, like, this song is going on my workout playlist for real, because it really does give me those like that kind of underground hip hop vibe. Like it's really something that like once again takes me back. Something that I've said that's kind of like a recurring theme I feel like nowadays on my channel is that a lot of BTS's music, sometimes it reminds me, it gives me this feeling of like this pleasant feeling of nostalgia, because they tap into a lot of different sounds, and a lot of the sounds that they reference or that they're influenced by it's from music that I grew up listening to. And so I always get that nostalgic feel when I'm listening to them a lot of the time, because it's reminding me of, like, you know, back when I had a CD player or a cassette tape like player, like, you know, it's reminding me of those days. And that's what this song makes me think of. It's just really, really something that's extraordinary about them. I've said before is the way they're able to like tap into these memories, you know? And that's why what this says at the end, even without knowing each other's stories, we create moments. What's the rest of it? We create moments of love that bridge the gap. And that is very, very true, because we can listen, like me, someone who grew up in the United States on the East Coast, can listen to a song created by someone who grew up in South Korea, a place I've never been, on the other side of the planet, and somehow not knowing each other, growing up in different parts of the world, we're still able to relate to each other, and we're able to like not only create moments between each other, but also relive moments in time through new music. And I think that is something that's so cool. Something, one of the reasons why I've been a huge music lover all my life, and one of the reasons I always will be, because music is really such a medium of art that, like, and many mediums of art are like this, but I say, as like a huge music lover, it's like music is one of those things where it's like, no matter where you live, no matter where you grew up, no matter where you were born, you will be able to, you can create music that people of all walks of life will be able to relate to and will be able to listen to, and it will remind them of a specific time in their life, or it will reinvigorate a passion that they had long since forgotten about, or remind them of something just in general that they haven't thought about in a long time, something that is maybe not exclusive, but something that is very personal to them, that the person creating the music had no idea that they were going to be able to tap into. And this song really taps into like a lot of memories, a lot of moments in my life, and it just goes to show that we're more alike than we are different. And by listening to these songs and like these artists creating these songs, it's almost like they're showing us that is true. It's like they're showing us, like they're telling us we're more alike than we are different. And that is something that we should always hold with us, and also remember, because obviously in the world there's all kinds of conflict, there's all kinds of horrible things that human beings do to each other, and it's awful. And I really wish that a lot of us could remember that at the end of the day we're all the same, and that it's like we really like need to come together, not to be all like peace, but like I think that it would benefit everyone if we remembered that our differences are something that we should not look at each other with like dismissal, or even like disgust or disinterest or any sort of like disrespect. We should look at our differences as honestly kind of like pretty spectacular, because if you think about the fact that we all have so many things in common despite our differences, it kind of makes the differences feel special, and they shouldn't be things that we look down upon. We shouldn't look down upon each other for speaking different languages, or having a culture in which we dress differently, or we speak differently, or we eat differently, we cook differently, or we love differently. We should look at these things and be like, wow, look at all these things that make us different. And now look at the fact that and now consider the fact that despite all of this, there's still so much love, you know? I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense to you guys? Why am I tearing up? The hell? What's going on? It's like, we should be able to, like, when I look at like some of my friends, I'm just like, wow, we're so different. Like, we don't really like the same things. Like, we have different styles, we like, you know, but we are still able to like love each other. And like, I feel like that this is probably, y'all probably like, what the heck is she talking about? I just mean that like, we should be able to love each other without looking at our differences as reasons why we shouldn't love each other, but for why it's so spectacular that we do, you know? Does that make sense? I feel like I'm over explaining something that's probably very simple, and you've probably already figured out what it is that I'm trying to say. We should love each other despite our differences, but not despite our differences, but because of our differences, you know? Like, I think it's great having friends who are from different cultural backgrounds, because I get to learn so much from them. One of my first best friends growing up, one of my first best friends when I was a kid was a girl. Her name was Amy, and we went to the same elementary school. And Amy is Korean and Japanese. I am Black, and so she was my first friend who was Asian. I had never had an Asian friend before, and I was young. We were like maybe 7, 8, I'm not sure, but I became friends with her. And I remember the first time that I spent the night at her house, because we were on the phone, and then she asked if I wanted to spend the night, and I was like, oh, I gotta ask my mom. And so I put my mom on the phone, and she put her mom on the phone. They talked on the phone, you know, and discussed, you know, what they would do. And then I think like the next weekend, my mom took me to Amy's house, and she lived in a different part of the city than us. She lived in a completely different neighborhood that I had never been to. And they met each other, and they talked, and me and Amy, like, that was our first time hanging out, and like having a sleepover. And I never really thought about the fact that we were different because she was Asian and I was Black. She just was my friend, you know? Like, when you're young, you don't really think about that kind of stuff. But I saw the differences in our culture in my experience, like that being my first time that I spent the night at her house, because her parents owned a sushi restaurant, and I had never had sushi before, but I went with her to her parents' restaurant, and I had sushi for the first time. She taught me how to use chopsticks. I had green tea ice cream for the first time at her place. I grew up eating Spam, and so did she, but she cooked hers in a different way than I cooked mine. Like, they ate theirs with rice. I typically ate mine with like eggs and toast for breakfast, you know? So that was like my first time seeing, like, because I was just like, oh, you eat this with rice? And I tried it. I'm like, this is bomb. How come we don't eat ours with rice? This is great, you know? So it's like little stuff like that. I was just like, oh, this is cool, because we clearly didn't grow up doing like the same things, and so I get to learn from my experiences from hanging out with you. I get to learn about your culture and how you guys do things in your household, and I get to take that with me, and I get to you know, really think about the fact that, like, we are like different in these ways, but our differences are really cool. And I just thought it was really cool that her house looked different than mine. Like, you know, they had different art than I had growing up in my house. Their kitchen looked different. They had different kitchen appliances that we had in our house. Like, I didn't grow up with a rice maker. That's not something that I grew up using in our house. We just made rice on the stove in a pot. So that was like my first time seeing a rice maker, like a rice cooker, like, you know, like stuff like that. Like, you know, it's just like, I just really, really appreciate that I get to have these experiences with people who are different than me. And like, I don't really understand. I've never understood why people are so hateful towards people who are different than them, because it just doesn't make sense, because I think it's cool. I just always thought it was cool, like, you know. And then in addition to her, I had another friend who was Italian. I think she was first generation Italian, I'm not sure. Or her parents were, I'm not sure, but they were real Italian, like they were heavy Italians, you know. Like, so first time I went to her house, and I was just like, oh, this is like so different too, like for different reasons. I didn't think less of it. I just thought, I was like, wow, this is interesting. Like, I just always thought it was interesting. And like, we're all different. We're all different. We have these different experiences, and I feel like we should, instead of like, not to be, can we all just get along? Can we all just, what if we all just hugged each other? Not to be like that, but I just think that if, instead of like looking for reasons to diminish other people's culture and diminish where other people have come from, or to look down on people for where they've come from, type of food they eat, the way they dress, the way they talk, just different love languages, all kinds of stuff, I feel like we should take that with us. I feel like we should take those experiences with us, and because we can not to be like culture appropriation, but we can take these experiences and help. They can help us evolve as well as human beings. These experiences, these things that we do, these things that we learn about each other, we can use, instead of using it as a reason to like hate each other, we can use it to improve. We can use these things to improve our own lives. And I feel like, why not? Like, why don't we do that? I do. You think I still make rice on the stove? No, I use a rice maker because it's easier. I think it's just, like, I wouldn't even know that these exist with, I'm sure I would have figured it out in adulthood if I hadn't had that experience as a child. But I know that rice makers exist because of people because of Amy. I know how to use chopsticks because of Amy. Anytime I'm eating with chopsticks around someone who's never seen me eat with chopsticks before, and they're always like, if they make a comment on the fact that like they can't eat really well with chopsticks, or like why do I know why can I eat chopsticks so well, like why can I use them to eat so well, I always say, I had a friend named Amy and she taught me how to use chopsticks, so that's how come I can use chopsticks. Like, it's just like I'll just always, I'll be like, yeah, it's because I had a friend, she taught me how to use them. So not to toot my own horn, it's not that impressive. Like, I feel like most people nowadays know how to use chopsticks, but it was the 90s, okay? So I felt like kind of special because I knew how to use chopsticks and other people couldn't. But it wasn't like you use chopsticks? You use sticks to eat? What are you doing? It was just, oh, what is that? What are you doing? Like, it is just like a new experience, and I get to take that with me, and I use chopsticks all the time now. I use chopsticks with my ramen. I use chopsticks with, I don't know. Sometimes I just be feeling like I'm in a chopstick mood, and I just be using chopsticks. But like, I don't know. Some people think it's weird. Like, I grew up with a lot of South Asian people in my schools that I went to. People made fun of them, and I never understood why they would make fun of them. I hope this isn't triggering for anyone, but I remember specifically that they would say that they smelled like curry. That's a thing. That's like an insult people use against South Asian people, and that's not something that I ever understood. Because I was like, first of all, curry is delicious. So I don't really know why we're upset, because now I'm hungry. I'm not upset about that. But in addition to that, it wasn't even necessarily that they did. It was just an insult. It was just an insult. They used it not to say you literally smell like curry, but to say you're different. And I don't like the way you're different from me. And to make fun of that. And I always thought that was lame. That's corny. It's corny as hell, and it never made sense to me, because even through my South Asian friends, I've discovered a lot of things. I've learned a lot of things. Even currently, one of my friends, like when I talk to them, there's lots of things that I learned that I didn't know about before, because that's not my culture. And I think that it's nice to be able to have these experiences where you do get to learn more, and you do get to once again take these things with you, carry these things with you, because I think it makes you a more well-rounded person to learn about different cultures and to be exposed to different cultures through your friendships, through your relationships in your life. And I feel like I'm rambling at this point. I feel like I have been rambling for a really long time. My point is that our differences should be celebrated as being extraordinary, and as a reason for us to want to learn more about one another and to care about one another. And I just wish more people had that mindset, of not looking down on something because it's different, but being amazed or being fascinated by it because it's different. I think that that's a better way to look at the world than to, look down on people's differences. If we all, instead of looking at things with disinterest, or maybe even sometimes some people disgust, if we all instead just said, wow, whenever we learn something new about someone's culture, or experienced a new culture, or experienced something different, if we all just said, wow, I feel like that would be really helpful in helping people to kind of like get out of that like closed-minded mindset of because this thing is different than me, it's bad. No, it's because it's different, it's good. I don't know. That's just what I think. Who cares what I think? I'm just saying that's just how I feel about it. So, anyways, this has really been a long thing. I'm probably gonna cut some of this out because I feel like I've been rambling for so long, and y'all do not want to hear me ramble about our differences make us special and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna stop. Beautiful song. I really enjoyed this song a lot. Like I said, definitely had those early 2000s underground hip-hop vibes. I'm really a big fan of that. And so thank you so much for the folks who recommended this song. And the video was very, very beautiful as well from what I could see, because like I said, I was reading the captions a lot of the time to try to, like, I wanted to understand what they were saying. But I really, really dig the song a lot. I really do. So thanks again for recommending the song and all that. And let me know how to pronounce those two folks' names. Again, I apologize with the mispronunciation. I hate when I pronounce people's names wrong. But I try my best. I'm always going to try my best. But always correct me and let me know so that I can make sure I'm saying it right the next time, you know? Thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, I really appreciate it. And I would definitely appreciate if you could leave a like on my video. I almost said on my channel. You can't do that, but you know what you can do to my channel. You can subscribe to it. Yeah, you can subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That'd be pretty sick. Thank you to all the folks who have already subscribed. I very much appreciate you. And that's going to be it for today's video. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.